Hello and welcome to the Morningscape podcast. I am Matt Moody, joined by DJ Mitchell, and we're here to cover the Tuesday, November 4th NHL Daily Fantasy Slate. Let's get into it.
You're saying they're looking like an idiot.
Well, is that any different than normal?
This is the first time I will admit was unbelievably wrong.
DJ, here we are. It is Monday evening at the time of recording. We have got a 10-game slate on to talk about. How you doing?
Good. Busy weekend. Turned 31 over the weekend, so that's cool. Spent a lot of time running around, doing things, playing hockey, and winning money, losing money, winning money, losing money. Kind of felt like just a back and forth tug of war, but boy, does my ESPN bet account look a lot better after since the last time we recorded. So you know what? Not going to complain too much. Yeah, not a whole lot there. How about you? Anything crazy, fun, exciting?
I went to Montreal for a quick trip. Saw the Habs Sens game, which was electric. I mean, it was really sweet the first time we went, but this time it was even crazier. I mean, just the pop that Demidov got and like the starting lineup announcements was just insane.
Wait, were you there for the goal that he scored that was absolutely bonkers?
Well, yeah, the greatest goal ever scored by anyone in the history of the league. Yes, that was. I was there. I was on the other end of the ice, though. But
Yeah.
you know,
I didn't even think about the fact that you were there for that when I was watching the game. Didn't even think about it.
No, it was crazy. I mean, I don't know, 15 rows up behind the goal, like not super close, but pretty decent seats. You know, a little bit more than the get-in price I spent on them, but yeah, it was worth the quick trip. I mean, the flights were super short and everything else, so certainly a good weekend. And we'll just
croissants.
We walked to a couple bagel spots that were neat. I guess they're like the famous bagel joints in the area. So we did that, walked around for most of Saturday. We saw the pre-gaming to the Alouettes game, which was kind of interesting because I just didn't know that was happening. And we had walked around McGill's campus before a few years ago, but I didn't quite put together that the CFL team played there. So I was like puzzle solving as we were walking around, like what is going on here? And then like I heard like the cannon or fireworks or whatever. But
I've never been. I've heard really good things. My cousin does a seminar there, I think almost every year now, and he absolutely loves Montreal. So
yeah,
let him know. I know. Yeah, he loves it. He's actually was texting me today, speaking of ticket prices, and being like, you have any Bills connections? And I was like, a little bit. So I'm trying to help him out. I did not realize that like the get-in price for some of these games for the Bills was like $400. I'm like, who is paying that? I guess idiots.
Yeah, quite literally. The dumbest people you know are paying that.
I'm like, I can do my best, but I cannot promise anything too crazy. So other than that though, I mean, good times, good hockey, some good bets, some bad bets, some great slates, some bad slates. Nothing
for
so
me,
far. Yeah.
For me, it's a lot of bad slates. I will say that much. Just a lot of shit. So
yeah,
we'll see.
I feel like I've mainly treaded water with a few nights that have given me a decent push in the right direction, but every night is the night to be great. So let's get to Tuesday night, where it is the perfect opportunity to win tens of thousands of dollars or more if you're brave enough to do so.
I do not think you could make more than tens of thousands of dollars, but how much do you think you could bet? Well, how much do you think you could bet on your max bet on the sports book? No, it's Systema cannot make hundreds of thousands of dollars in a night.
You're saying like if I tried to put every last dollar on like a couple of bets, or do you mean like it let me bet?
Like if you took out if you took out loans, sure.
Yeah. Like you're saying like straight bets, like they would like before they cap me. It's a really good question. I bet 5,000, 10,000. I bet somewhere in there, and they'd probably stop me, right? I mean, especially if it was one or two bets.
I guess also considering, I don't know if there's like deposit limits, things like that. I don't know. So
I'm just gonna quickly, and I'm not gonna enter it. I'm just gonna put in 1,000 on a money line bet tomorrow that I'm not gonna do, and just see if it even blocks me from like click. I'm
oh
not gonna
no,
click the button.
it'll let you look at it. Because I mean I've
It would
placed,
be the
but
click.
what it'll do is it'll say, hold on, we're reviewing, and then it'll go to
Yeah,
something where it takes like 10 seconds and then
you're
it'll go
right. It's
through.
not gonna
Yeah.
like if I was like, you know what? I think Seattle with Tolvin on the top line is just giga good. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's saying, yeah, you're right. I have no idea. I bet if 1,000 or more, that might trigger something. I don't know. I'm not going to test it though. I'm not going to be stupid tonight. Yeah. Um, why don't we get into the slate though? I think 5 minutes of nonsense is enough minutes of nonsense.
Okay. We have 10 games on the docket. Um, as we adjust, if you are on the podcast feed, there is a video accompaniment to this where you can see the screen sharing. On YouTube, it's at NHL DJ, or the link is in the description of the podcast. Utah and Buffalo, right off the bat at 7 o'clock, looks like a pretty up-paced game based on the expected goals trends. Mostly thanks to the Sabres. We'll talk about the Sabres. There's a lot of news and
Yeah.
notes on their end. And then the other game that really stands out is this Nashville Minnesota game. Nashville playing on the second half of a back to back. Those two games lead the way in terms of both expected goals and actual goals at 5-on-5 so far this year. And the only other game that even comes close from a goals perspective is this Tampa Bay Colorado game, which of course has pretty high end pieces available for us. So that's just a really quick high level look. Otherwise, we have Edmonton Dallas. That's interesting. Carolina takes on the Rangers, and then Boston Islanders, Philly Montreal, Florida Anaheim, Detroit Vegas, and Winnipeg LA. Lots of news and notes around the league, I think. So
Wait,
yeah, let's
keep that
just
up
get
for
into
1 second.
things.
Wait,
Oh,
can you pull it back
go
up for
ahead.
once? No,
Yep,
I think I got it.
I will.
I just like to. I try to take a screenshot of it and put it on the side just so I can reference it later in case I want to. Okay, you're good. Which
Uh,
anyone could do on the YouTube channel if you're like, what are they talking about? I just go to what, like 6 minutes in, 7 minutes in, take a screenshot. You'll see exactly
yeah.
what we're looking at, and you could just pull it to the side.
Yes, and of course, if you are in the Discord, you get this. I post it about 6:30 every day before the slate starts. So, and there will be more stuff. There'll be players and shot attempts and whatnot that you can peruse. All right. Starting things off with Utah at the Sabres. Nothing changes for Utah. So before we talk about Utah, I do want to get to the Sabres real quick because there's a ton of changes here. Since the last time we spoke, Zach Benson got hurt. He's on IR, so he's out. Jason Zucker is also out. He is, I think, doubtful technically,
Yeah,
but
doubtful. Yeah,
did not
doubtful.
practice, does not seem good. And then Yuri Kulik is, I believe, dealing with some vertigo-esque symptoms, so he doesn't seem like he's going to play either. So obviously their deep pairings are now healthy with Kesselring in the fold, so that's noteworthy. But the forwards take a huge hit. I mean, Jordan Greenway top line with Tage and Quinn, Tuck McLeod Doan stays intact. Ostland, Krebs, Roseanne is my guess. And then Geertsen, Dunn, and Malenstein. I mean, Mason Geertsen and Josh Dunn, I don't know if I could have told you a single thing about them during preseason. And they were on the Buffalo Sabres, a team whose games I watch, pretty intently. So, I don't know. DJ, any specific thoughts on the Sabres before we talk more about the game in general and how the fantasy stuff will go?
Yeah, I mean, like you're saying, the Sheik kind of likes this game. In one respect, I feel like I don't like it as much. Maybe I feel like Utah's been very good defensively. In all honesty, maybe it's been a little bit. They may have gotten a little bit of like how bad the goaltending's been has somehow helped the Corsi numbers look better somehow. I don't know. Like they haven't really been world beating. The record's good. The Corsi's been good, but I truly do think defensively they are just better than most people assume, at kind of limiting chances from other teams. And it's pretty pricey. It's not astronomic, but not anything I'm going crazy about. I just think from a strictly daily fantasy perspective, Buffalo is it's not going to be, piled on, but Tage Thompson, I think always garners ownership. There's going to be punts here to consider. almost no matter what. Like, is Isaac Roseanne going to be of interest? He did have 6 shot attempts. I mean, 15 minutes, it's not nothing. And power play 1 last game. Is he going to be the guy that gets the big boost? Is Josh Doan going to continue to see a ton of run in a revenge game? He has a pretty good shot numbers and has been very good pretty much all season at getting them on net because he gets them in from so in tight. Like, he is playing a Gabe Velarde type of power play role and doing very well at it. So like, there's goal upside. He's always been cheap. All of this to say that there's value to take on Buffalo, and which is where I think people will go. And that's why I'm kind of only thinking, what does Tage Thompson and like Jack Quinn look like in a build? Thinking that those rates have been the best in the league, frankly, all year long, other than maybe like Cutter Gauthier. And like, is Jack Quinn for real? Are we ever going to see it? It better be now. Gets a big boost potentially. So I don't know. I think more than likely I end up off this game entirely, but those are kind of the thoughts circling around Buffalo.
Yeah, so for Utah, no changes. So Keller, Hayton, Schmaltz, Paterka, Cooley, Gunther. That first line is costing you 16.6K. Their expected fantasy points are about 28.7, and their actual is about 31.7. Over the last 10 games, by the way, you're going to see this to date note, but now we've hit the 10 game mark. I use 10 games as my rolling figure, so I'll update that later this week. But the second line, relative to the first line, 17K, slightly more expensive, 30.1 expected fantasy points per game, slightly better than the top line, and 31.6 actual fantasy points per game, also slightly better than the top line. So both are fairly priced. I'm interested to see where ownership comes in. I don't think I have a lean defensively. They might go Schmidt, Sergachev. They did that last game. They lost for like the first time ever, it feels like. But otherwise, not expecting any changes. They could, again, flip around these D pairs a bit. But the top 2 lines set in stone. Paterka narrative, revenge, 4,200. I wouldn't play him as a one-off. I would try to make room for either Cooley or Gunther in a lineup. But Paterka certainly stands out at just 4,200 here, given the matchup. On the Buffalo side, go ahead. What do you
And
got?
Paterka given the matchup. And
what, DJ?
the revenge narrative. Are you not going to say it? I
already fucking said that.
I didn't hear it. So
every show with this guy, every single show.
It doesn't sound like you possibly said it.
In his own little world while I talk.
I said it.
Planning the next thing he's going to say.
I was also looking up whose birthday it was today in the NHL.
Oh, thank you.
Finding answers.
Wait.
Oh, okay. Wait, this is the second. Why?
It's on Hockey Reference, right? How do you not find it?
It wasn't giving me any active players.
Well,
there's 0 active players, or did I do something wrong? Why is it getting rid of active players? Born in. I don't think it's saying tomorrow the most recent born player is Dustin Brown. It can't be right.
Yeah, that is true.
Nope, it is.
How many players think are in the NHL? Just a fact. Like,
I guess not enough.
Statistically speaking, yeah, like
right.
Seems quite likely, in fact, that there are several days throughout the year.
That would just mean that we have no birthday narratives to bet on.
Indeed.
I don't like that. No, I guess this is right. I just thought I messed something up. Okay.
Nope, you are correct. So
we move on.
With Buffalo, Jason Zucker was on the top power play last game. So with his absence, I'm projecting Alex Tuch to go up there. You could see it, though, be Jack Quinn. We've seen Tage move to the bumper before and Quinn play in the Tage spot. So for 3,100, Tage is an interesting speculation bet. Obviously, we might get morning skate, power play units to react to. But for now, I have Tuch there. I think he makes the most sense with Doan in the interior. And then, Roseanne playing like I think it's Roseanne. It's like Roseanne or something like that. I know it's not just Roseanne. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. I'm actually pretty good at pronouncing players' names.
Actually, yes, very true. When we talk about the Sabres prospect line, we talk about Yuri Kulik and Noah Ostlund and Isaac Roseanne. He's like right up there with these guys. 2021, 14th overall pick. He's got killer AHL numbers, very similar to both Ostlund and Kulik. And so now that Roseanne's on the top power play, like 2,500, I mean, that's a fantastic play. I worry a little bit about the minutes with Ostlund, Krebs, Geertsen, Dunn, Malenstein. Like the top 6 is just going to get fed minutes in this spot. But there's an out, Jordan Greenway probably not a 19-minute a night player, so you could see double shifting, so to speak, where other guys get up there. So that's like your out for Roseanne in addition to the power play. And Darlene on defense is great. I think Byram's more interesting to me than Owen Power, given the prices. 3K Byram, he's been slightly better over the last 10. And I don't see them as way different fantasy wise. Obviously, Byram's a bit more exciting too on the ice. So,
Yeah.
any other Sabres you want to mention?
No, I mean, I think most of the lineup changes just take out good high-end offensive players for a much more boring, forecheck, back check type guys. We're going to see Greenway for, 14 minutes. We're going to see guys that should probably be getting 8 to 10 for 14. And I just think it makes the game more boring. And my plan is to fade the first game here. And I think ownership will be on it. I just don't know exactly where. And but we can move over. We spent enough time on Buffalo. We can move over to Philly and Montreal. Um, Flyers, they never do the things I want them to do, and then when I think they're doing the things I want them to do, it's a mirage, and I just end up being sad. I think it starts and stops with just how good Zegras has been lately. The minutes have followed that. The power play role has followed that. He's been looked at as a great shooter without a doubt. Sometimes getting a little too micro with the stats is stupid, but I always like to look at the most recent couple games. 3 games, Zegras 9.67 shot attempts per game. Not a lot of them hitting the net. He's missing the net a little bit more than you'd like, but getting that kind of opportunity only comes when you have the role that he has. And
Yep.
I just think that, like, if you're playing the Flyers, there's always a guy I feel like every time I'm like, you're playing this guy. Well, right now it's Trevor Zegras, and I don't think he's going to be incredibly popular given the matchup. But the role
Nope.
really has been pretty legit. So what say you about Mr. Zegras?
Yeah, I mean, on the year, he's probably been their best player. I mean, you look
Yeah.
at the stats with him, without him, like they're just better offensively with him. They're better defensively with him. They are actually dominating, games with Zegras on the ice. So, or I shouldn't say dominating. They are performing quite well with Zegras on the ice in a way that they're not really without him on the ice. He's been a boon to their power play as well.
Mm.
So it's not far fetched to say that like everything Zegras touches is their top whatever. So their power play with Zegras is Tippett, Cates Brink, Jamie Drysdale. Tyson Forster is out. I believe it'll be a few weeks for him at
Yeah.
least.
Not great. Yeah. Block shot,
So
right?
yeah, block shot. And then the other power play: Konechny, Couturier, Cam York, Christian Dvorak, and Matvey Michkov. It's hard to separate Michkov, Dvorak from Zegras, but those two have been very good as well. Rodrigo Abels is not the most exciting, passenger
Really?
5-on-5, so that's going to make it tough. But we've talked about this Montreal depth for years now, and I don't
Mm.
think it's much better, especially defensively. So Konechny, Couturier, Zegras probably eat the Suzuki matchup, which isn't great. And then Tippett, just a little too expensive for my liking. So I don't know. Any interest in Philly here?
I mean, I'm interested in the top line. I honestly could foresee a scenario where I play Konechny and Zegras together, regardless of the power play role, because they're just going to see 20 minutes of ice time, maybe even more. And that is potentially even going to come on the power play together at times. I don't think that these power plays are set in stone. And if things are working, they will come together. So yeah, no, I am interested. I think Montreal is a good team. I think that they're fine defensively, but in reality, it's goaltending. What do I like to bet on more than anything? And that is teams that could break through goaltending that I think is a little bit of Fugazi. I mean, I think Dobish is fine. I think Montembeau is fine. I don't think they're the best goalie tandem in the world. So yeah, no problem on my end going that way.
Okay. On the Montreal side, Caulfield, Suzuki, Slavkovsky, of course, Anderson, Evans, Gallagher, Newhook, Kapanen, Demidov, Bolduc, Veleno, Doc. Demidov still on the top power play, 4,100. Yeah, still a very good play. I think given the matchup, it might be a little too popular for my liking, but we'll see. We'll see how things look tomorrow before making that a declaration. Noah Dobson, his price as predicted is falling. He's down at 4,800 now. Um, that's pretty cool, especially with Jaden Struble and Alex Carrier as their other right-handed defensemen. Dobson's just playing a ton of minutes. Matheson's 4,400, but I don't know if he has the sort of upside that Dobson does offensively. And then otherwise, it's the top liner bust. But any thoughts on Montreal here?
It's just, I mean, again, getting a bit micro, but over the past 5 games, there isn't a single player with more than 5 shot attempts on goal. You spread that out to 10 games, and it's like, okay, well, a little bit better. There's a couple guys that are like, flirting with these numbers, but it just feels like you're betting on ultra efficiency with this team. You just have to full stack, I think, the top line. I have no problem playing Dobson. I have no problem playing Lane Hudson. It's a bit pricey for my liking, but if you're going all the way, you're saying that this team gets there on goals and goals alone, because nobody is shooting at such an exorbitant rate, and that can change any game, right? But I still think that like you're betting on the top line doing the top line thing. So throw in a defenseman with it, go 4 man. That's the only way. But again, I'm actually more interested in the Flyer side, and that's something I didn't really expect. I mean, the game profiles to be not fantastic to bad, so you could probably fade it anyways. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty much on board with that. So, keeping an eye on Demidov, Caulfield, Suzuki, Demidov is interesting. Slavkovsky's price, he's not prohibitive at all, but saving 500, maybe you need it. And Demidov will touch the puck more on the power play. I also saw something kind of interesting that they ran a 5-on-3 unit in practice, and it was Hudson, Dobson, Caulfield, Suzuki, Demidov. So I don't know. There's also that Slate out too, leaving Slavkovsky off, but I don't think we've seen a 5-on-3 for them in game anyway. Let's get to Boston and the Islanders. We will just continue to talk about the Islanders because they play fun hockey games.
Yep.
Not so much the case with Boston, but the Islanders certainly carry it for this matchup, right in the midst of like that second tier of games, where Detroit, Vegas, Dallas, Edmonton, and that Philly Montreal game we just talked about are sort of the bottom rung. We mentioned the top 2 off the bat, and then the others are just like in that 5.5 range, right on the nose. So, and that's all based on the trends, not based on Vegas, by the way. So, implement Vegas in for what you will. I think on the Boston side, the most pressing note from the weekend was Elias Lindholm's injury. Maybe he got hurt on like Thursday or something, but in any case, go ahead.
No, I was going to say it was like Thursday, but
yeah, okay. Kuznetsov centers the top line now with Geeky Pasternak. Arvidsson gets the power play 1 gig. So there's some slight value there being created. Pasternak, of course, is the engine of this team. He's been a little weak though. This 8,800 for just 12 expected fantasy points per game is certainly not David Pasternak level. But it's still good. It's not fantastic though, is my point. Victor Arvidsson at 3,800 is pretty interesting. He's 300 less than his line mate Pavel Zacha, and has been better over the last 10 despite not being on that top power play for the majority of the run. So there's that. And then of course, Fraser Minton, we're like, okay, cool. Like their top center prospect, Elias Lindholm is hurt. What are you going to do? You're not going to move Fraser Minton to the top line, despite him being actually really, really good under the surface. Yep. I don't know. It does not feel like Boston is serious about winning hockey games. So I'm pretty much out on this team. But any thoughts here?
No, it's the most frustrating lineup that is winning. I mean, they beat Buffalo in overtime. They beat Carolina 2-1. It felt like the entire second half of the game, Carolina was just producing low volume shots and not testing Jeremy Swayman until they finally score with like seconds. It was just like this incredibly frustrating, boring.
Carolina wouldn't do that though, right? Like
they would. No, I hate to break it to all of our fans, but they did that for the first time ever. They just fucking sat there and okay, it doesn't matter. My point being is that like Boston, like come hell or high water, wants to make the game as boring as possible and only produce offense with Geeky and Pasternak. I guess maybe you could argue the second line also tries a little bit, but like I just think at what cost? And I think that the Islanders are going to make things a little bit interesting, but again, at what cost? I think I'm fading this game. I'm crossing it out. I was actually trying to pull up the whatever, the freaking over under on the sports book, and I pulled it up and then I got distracted by something. It is a 6.5 though.
Yeah, it's got to be
So
a
it's
six.
like
I mean, every
it
game
should
the
be.
Islanders play should be a 6.5. Like
And
they are.
but it's like you see where I'm kind of like I cannot justify clicking the buttons, and then I'm like, the fuck, I think it should be a 6.5, and Vegas is a 6.5. Who's scoring goals? You know, is
Yep.
it just the Islanders?
Well, it's David Pastrnak and Morgan Geeky, DJ. I mean, you answered your own question.
I did say
So
these words, and they were right.
let's get to the bell of the ball though here. The Islanders, of course, very interesting. They're keeping it interesting by pairing Horvat and Barzell together with Emil Heineman. So that line is going to be 16.6K. Over the last 10, they're averaging 31.6 expected fantasy points and 30.8 actual fantasy points per game. Pretty good. Or sorry, not yeah, that's per game. So pretty good for the price. Obviously, Horvat, Barzal, they're two engine drivers. The second line, they called up Cal Ritchie finally. He's been well, he was really good in preseason. Patrick Waugh actually said that he wanted him to make the team out of camp and was like, why? They was like, why are you playing him as your second line center right away? And he's like, well, because he earned it in the preseason, basically implying that because he lost Ritchie to the AHL to start the year, he was just like, yeah, fuck you. Like I want this guy. So I found that kind of interesting. Cal Ritchie, I think, is a superstar in the making. I think because it's Cal Ritchie, his draft stuff doesn't get pulled in. No, something weird's going on here. But obviously he was drafted. DJ, maybe while I'm talking, you can look up his actual profile. But he's 60th on Corey Prodman's top prospects ranking. I think very highly of him as just a player. And
Yeah,
he's centering Jonathan Juan and Kyle Palmieri, who are the top power play mates of Horvat Barzal. And that line's going to be 13K, getting depth matchups against the likes of the Boston Bruins middle six. That's pretty fun to me. And then Holmstrom, Pajot, Anders Lee, same deal. Anders Lee has just been an absolute bender. He actually, I think, was on for the empty net and got the empty net goal. Or actually, I think Schaefer stole it. Like they recredited it back to Schaefer afterward. But Anders Lee averaging 15 expected points per game, 11 actual, like just crazy good stuff for a guy who's 4,800 in a great matchup. So, DJ, anything to add on the Islanders side, even though you just said you wanted to fade them?
no, I don't. I want to and I don't. Like again, it's a back and forth, and I'll probably at some point stop being a coward and get to one side or the other. But I do, yeah, I like Callum Ritchie a lot. I think he's an ultra high end skill player, in a role that just has to matter. Tons of points, tons of assists, great vision, great, kind of all the stuff you're looking for in daily fantasy. Me, I got to look into the shot numbers more. I didn't particularly think he was a high end rate shooter, with all that
Uh,
pedigree, but I could be
no,
wrong.
he's not super high. I think of him
Yeah,
as very similar to uh,
Jonathan
Connor
Drouin.
Connor Geeky on Tampa.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I was trying. Yeah, I
where
got to look into his finishing more.
yeah. Anyway, he was the 27th pick in 2023. He was the
Mhm.
centerpiece of the Brock Nelson deal. So
Yeah,
I'll figure out where in the
no,
stats that's going awry.
he
But
matters. Yeah, I mean, call it a cop out, but just Horvat, Barzal, Schaefer. I mean, is it really that expensive in a 6.5 at what I don't think is going to be that high of ownership with the way they're like? I think you could just do it. I think it's allowed. Like, I'm not. It's not my
okay,
favorite play, but I think that that's like the option, and then everything else is getting a little fancy. But maybe you throw in Palmieri. I don't know. That's kind of where my head's at. Is that I don't think it's going to be that popular, and maybe it should be a little bit more. Do you think I'm being chalk sniffer or
I don't think so. But we'll
yeah?
see. I think they're just priced high enough where they're not going to be
Would
super
you
high
throw in
projected.
Heineman?
But I like it. Yeah, I would. The fact that Juin got sent to the second line instead of Heineman, I think is a clear tell that like they fall in love with Heineman's game. He's been shooting, he's got the profile of a shooter. So I think we just roll with it and you don't look the gift horse in the mouth if you're stacking Horvat Barzell. And of course, Schaefer, do or don't, doesn't really matter. Next game up, we have Carolina and the Rangers. We just talked about Carolina doing Carolina things. Well, in true Carolina fashion, they have now recalibrated their 5-on-5 lines to the following: Taylor Hall, Sebastian Aho, Svechnikov, Ehlers, Blake, Stankoven. Stankoven, of course, being the center. Martinuk, Stahl, Jarvis, and then Jankowski, Kokinami, Nadeau stays the same. Confirmed that no Keandre Miller in the lineup, despite it being the revenge game. He's just not healthy yet. And that Jacob Slavin is also not able to return. So right away, Carolina keeps the same level of just they don't have defenders that they've sort of been dealing with for the past week or two. I did look at this. I wanted to pull this up. Here's my fancy R code. And here is the Carolina pulled up on the other screen. Here's the Carolina rolling 5-game defense. Of course, now we're 12 games into the season or so. You can see here that Carolina started off the year quite fine defensively, and as time has gone on with no Jake Slavin, picking up the injury to Kandre Miller somewhere around here, they're getting pummeled defensively. So this is not the same Hurricanes team that you're probably thinking of. They're playing with a ton of tempo. They're fine offensively at the moment, but they're giving up a ton the other way. And it makes sense when your decor is Nikishin, Walker, Nystrom, Chatfield, and Mike Riley, Charles Alexis Legault. I mean, this is not serious stuff defensively. So it makes sense. And I think for that reason, this game is quite interesting. Svechnikov takes the top appeal, given he's now line one power play one at 3,900. But there's a lot more here, I think, to uncover. So DJ, any thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, Alexander Nikishin, kind of a bit of a coming out party, even though he's kind of felt like it's continued to happen. Over the last 5, if we're talking last 5, 18 shots was blocks. He scored. It looked like one of those shots that just looks a little bit different. If you know it, you know it. He has it. I think that only continues to be a factor in every lineup you build. Is, am I going to play Nikishin? Am I going to play Svechnikov? Am I going to get different? Are the Rangers a team I want to attack? Another question I think that is worth asking, are the Rangers better than people think? Maybe, but I think this game is a lot better than people think overall. So I'm fine, stacking this game. I do think that there is some element of chalk. The people will not be afraid to play the Rangers. People will probably be somewhat wise to the fact Carolina is super banged up. And yeah, I mean, it's an exciting game with tempo. Carolina putting, a ton of donkey chucking pucks on the net. And I believe it's a 6.5, but of course I closed out of the app.
So. Certainly should be.
I'm almost
no, it's a 5.5 right now. So there you go. Yeah. Maybe actual sneaky stack as a result.
Yeah, keep it low.
Yeah, I'm a little torn on full stacking between the top line and the second line. 14.1K for the top line, 14.4 for the second line. Ehlers, Stankoven, and Blake are all just better than Taylor Hall, so that is sort of the deciding factor there. But yeah, I'm not touching Seth Jarvis at 6,800 with his line mates. We've seen Seth Jarvis get there, no question. But I just don't think there's enough certainty here. If you want to spend that much money on a player, I think you either go Aho or you go to the Rangers side, because the Rangers loaded up their top line. Panarin, Miller, Zibanejad, leaving the second line, Lafreniere, Laba, and Cooley. At some point, I'm going to need to look into who Noah Laba is. But today is not that day. He's just going to keep climbing lineup from fourth line to third line. Now he's on the second line. Maybe by the time he gets to the first line, I'll actually do a dive into who he is. But he seems like pretty much just a guy. Fourth rounder in 2022. Perfectly fine NCAA stats, but there's not much prospect pedigree wise to focus on. So we haven't seen it on the ice either. He's not really doing much from an expected or an actual fantasy point standpoint, averaging just over 4 fantasy points per game. Not going to cut it. Just now he's the second line center. Oh boy. But yeah, top line here, DJ. Can I talk you into 19.9K Panarin, Miller, Zibanejad?
I mean, you could, I think you can, like everything we just said, right? I mean, it's not that high of a total. The Rangers implied team total is probably not going to be that high, and they are slight home dogs, and Frankly, Panarin's been pretty good all year. JT Miller has really, really, really started to shine over the past just few games. And you could say, again, small sample size, whatever, but he was injured to start the year. Like, he was not himself. And the coach was saying that. Like, I feel like I'm putting him in a bad position, kind of, in a way. But the captain of the Rangers wanted to play. Well, those numbers have really flipped over the past few games. And I think there's actual merit to that. Like, this guy did have good rate stats for a long time. So it's not like this is completely out of nowhere. Over the past 5 games, I believe Panarin's at 8 shot attempts per game, and not too far behind is 6 for JT Miller. And if you go even smaller than that, over the past like 2 or 3, it's gone even higher. Adam Fox has continued to all year long be a pretty reliable rate shooter. And we've talked about Zibanejad, right? Like, the trucking is there, the production is not. All the expecteds, none of the results for any of these guys. Is this the perfect storm, against the Hurricanes? Ironically enough.
So here's the rub with the Rangers. It's the story of their season, really. They have 6 players who I would say are relevant for fantasy. Their top power play and Will Cooley. That's about it. Everyone else comes and goes through the lineup. Doesn't really matter. They have combined per game an expected fantasy point number of 69.4. In the actual department, that number drops to 47.9. I mean, this team is getting absolutely clowned on by opposing goalies. And I don't know if this is the game where it stops, but the Carolina Hurricanes are certainly not a team that have gotten by with goaltending in the past. So, like, if they can generate this same level of volume against them, which again, given Carolina's defensive core, like, is certainly a possibility, I think we might actually see them snap out of it here at home with all their big guns together. So I don't think I'm going, Adam Fox and Lafreniere, like, power plays. I'm just doing the top line. Panarin, Miller, Zibanejad, just 19.9K. I think that's as cheap as it'll get. So let's just try. Let's just try it. And see what happens. That's kind of where I'm leaning here.
Bring it back with Svechnikov, Nikishin. That game goes for the Donkey Fest game of the night. I mean, I honestly think it fits, it ships. You could get quite a bit of the upside in the production from that, 5, including Miller, 6. Fox, not Miller, Fox. Yeah.
All right.
Talk
game.
Me into it.
Next game, we have Edmonton at Dallas. Edmonton playing on a back-to-back. They're up 2-0 toward the end of the second against the Blues, so not expecting any changes here. Mangiapane, McDavid, RNH, Podkolzin, Draisaitl, Roslovic, Savoy, Henrique, Frederick, Howard, Philip, Lazar, Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Wallman, Kulak, Emberson. The pairings. This is pretty much the story of Edmonton. You'll note no Tomashek in the lineup, so Jack Roslovic, top power play, second line of Draisaitl, he's 4,400. Little pricey. I think he scored. Yep, he scored again on the power play here, so back-to-back games of the power play goal. You could at least make an argument in favor of him. But yeah, any thoughts on Edmonton here in this matchup?
Yeah, a back-to-back doesn't make me feel the best about them. Playing Dallas makes me feel a little bit worse. The game doesn't look appealing on either end. I feel pretty comfortable fading it. Famous last words with McDry, but I think people will go to Roslovic. I think that every lineup that has a one-off Roslovic, they should have to slap like a seal at least twice during the day and then 4 times at night. I think I'm fading the entire game just completely out of my mix. Expensive and not a good rates matchup, and not, there's really a back-to-back. It just kind of all around leads me to say, nah, no thanks.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. Like, the D-men here have been really, really good. So, like, Wallman, Nurse, both 5K. Bouchard, 6,800. Maybe a bit pricey, but obviously if you're playing Draisaitl, McDavid, he's the guy you're going to want there. And even Ekholm has been fine, and he's down at 4,100. So I think if I'm playing Edmonton, I'm just grabbing a defenseman and pitching it on, because, they might get a point on your forward's goal, and they're getting the blocks and shots on their own to make up for it. So that's at least the one thing I can say about Edmonton. But otherwise, like, Mangiapane, peak just a dude. I mean, he's playing alongside McDavid for most of the year, and he's under 3 fantasy points per game. Like, it's just, it's rough. Of course, he scored today, so what the
Yep.
fuck. But
Him and Russell, of course.
yeah, and Russell, at least he's fine and on the power play and doing a little bit of stuff. But it's Edmonton. Like, it is what it is. Draisaitl, McDavid, spring eternal, and that's about all I can tell you for sure. Dallas practiced today with a bit of a lineup reconfiguration. I did not update the power plays here, so ignore those. But they practiced Robertson, Johnson, Rantanen, Steele, Sagan, Bork. I should have let you read that one, DJ, and Ernie, Faxa, and Bastion. I mean, same story. Their bottom six is just absolutely in shambles with no Rupe Hintz and, having just a guy down there to sort of anchor the third line. Be it Hintz or Steele or Bork, whatever. It's just kind of bad. But they loaded up the top line here, which we've seen a bunch of, but not in practice. So 22.1K for the fully loaded top line in Dallas. DJ, can I sell you on it?
The fully loaded nachos.
Indeed.
I mean, you're trying to sell it. I normally am a buyer of these types of sales, discounted prices, but I just think I'm exiting this game just off my radar. Like, I think that the Oilers are one of the best defensive teams in the league. And the reason that so many players, and especially some of their defensemen, continue to produce fantasy points is because they are in the offensive zone. They're they're blocking shots. They're keeping pucks away from their goalie. I just think that they're controlling possession very well. Like, everything that you kind of want to avoid in daily fantasy. It's a back-to-back, and I don't think Dallas will be very popular regardless of this line. So it's doable, but I don't know. Am I playing Maverick Jork? I don't know. I mean, Jork.
That was intentional, right?
Yeah, Jork. And Ritz Coven.
Close. Ritzkovian.
Ritzkovian. Fuck.
The I is not silent here. Every other letter is silent.
Yeah, he only has like they needed like 6 letters and they got like 14. That's my nemesis of a name. Ritzkovian to Jork for the goal. But no, I'm just not that interested in this game. And I think that if I 10 games, some of them you just got to say I'm not going there, or you're going to drive yourself crazy. I get it, but no.
All right.
No arguments.
Yeah, this game I think profiles to be quite boring. Dallas has just not been the team I wanted them to be, and it hasn't really stopped these top guys from being the top guys. I mean, combined, they're at 38.65 expected fantasy points, which is very, very good, and they're at 33.4 actual, which again is very good. I just don't know how much like shot bonus type mass upside there is here, which of course it's there, but I'm not sure I want to pay for it against Edmonton on a back-to-back. Like, the trends aren't in a huge favor of it. So I'm kind of waiting for Rupe Hintz to be back before I really try to get back on board the Dallas train, because you can't even stack Harley with it for cheap anymore. Like, there's not really those sorts of outs that you had before that make building a lineup more enticing. So let's get over to Nashville at Minnesota. As I highlighted earlier, this game does look like the top game based on the trends. Minnesota's been horrendous defensively and pretty good offensively, and Nashville is just a bad hockey team. They are down 2-1 against 3-1 now against the Canucks on Monday night. The fighting Brock Bessers, he now has 2 points on the night, as is Elias Pettersson, of course, but I don't know if that's the fake one or the real one. Who has the second point? Let's see.
Can never be sure.
It is the fake one who got a point on the second one. So there you go.
Almost lied to the good people.
I almost lied. So yes, the fighting Brock Bessers confirmed. Anyway, Nashville at Minnesota, they might change this up again because, again, they suck. Forsberg, O'Reilly, Evangelista, Stamkos, Haula, Marchessault, Bunting, Svechkov, Wood, Jost, McCarron, Weisblatt. You'll note Stamkos and Marchessault not with the top power play. I've not looked at the configuration from Monday night, but they practiced, or I think last game they had Evangelista and Haula on the top unit. So that's interesting. Anything to say about Nashville here?
I mean, yeah, no, it has to be of note that Minnesota's been horrific defensively. I just don't know what you're doing other than like Forsberg Evangelista and feeling any amount of upside. And that just feels pretty gross to me. So I'm not planning on playing Nashville. I may revisit it. Like 6,900 Philippe Forsberg is always gonna make me turn my head back and say maybe. Um, but man, like it feels like you just get skinny with this. There's no defenseman worth playing. They don't want to play Matthew Wood, even though he's their, best offensive prospect that could add quite a bit of value. I believe in this team where they need it most. But on a back-to-back against a Minnesota team that really should be better defensively than they are, probably just looking the other way on this one. But maybe you can try to swing me back.
Yeah. They've well, I'm not gonna try and swing you back, that's for sure. They, like everyone else, beat Calgary over the weekend, and in that game, he had a goal and an assist. Matthew Wood did. Played 10 minutes for his troubles. I mean, yeah, it's just exactly what you're saying. They don't want to give him the run, and it doesn't make sense because they need some juice, and Stamkos doesn't have it. Marchessault doesn't have it. Like, does Evangelista have it? Probably not in the way that Wood could. So I just want to see it, and we're probably not going to see it until later in the year when Brunette's fired and Trotz is behind the bench and whatever else is going on there in this
Yeah.
clown show of an
It
organization.
looked like the power play was Howla, Forsberg, Evangelista, Riley,
Okay.
Shea, and then Wood,
Yep.
Bunting, Marchessault, Stamkos, and Blackenberg
And that's today, you're saying?
today. Based on
Okay.
the line shift chart, that's what it looks like to me.
Yep. So that is how I have it. So everything you see here is good to go.
Okay.
Unless they change it, because again, they're losing and they could change
They
it.
are losing and they are bad, so they should probably consider changing it.
Indeed. All right. For the Minnesota side, not expecting any changes, but I didn't see anything. I think on Saturday they won. Yeah, they beat Vancouver, so nice get right spot for them there. They had Kaprizov, Rossi, Johansson, Boldy, Eriksson, Tarasenko, Foligno, Hartman, Hinostroza, Tranian, Jones, Pitlick. Top line, Kaprizov, Rossi, Johansson is going to run you 16.2K. They are averaging 29.4 expected points per game and 28.8 actuals. So that's one number. 16.9K for the second line, all power play uncorrelated, averaging 33.7 expected fantasy points per game and 24 actuals per game. So Matt Boldy carrying a lot of the water there in terms of expecteds. He's
Yeah.
at 16.1 over the last 10
Like
games, like just
like it
crazy.
like I need to look into
Um,
these numbers more because I would hate to say that this is turning into a Brady Kachuk situation, but like why is it not working better? Like why are we expecting so much and
yeah,
and actualizing so little here? Like I don't think he's the same player, but like it's not a bad thing, right? I'm not like besmirching the good name of Matt Boldy by saying he's one of the best players in the world, but like I just don't like that. Like I want him to score more goals. Like 5 and 13 just feels a lower than he should be to a concerning amount.
yeah. I think that's largely bad luck. You watch him play, and you're just like, yeah,
Yeah,
this dude's everywhere, and he plays 22 minutes a night, and it's awesome. So I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
concerned about it in that sort of way. Using Brady Kachuk as a slander is so on brand for us. Like,
It
I
really,
mean,
it's
the dude is
only thing you can get here. You're not getting that anywhere else. Like
like the dude is just an awesome hockey player. We're just like,
he's
yeah,
just so
but
good in every
actually,
aspect of the game, and we're like, is Matt
yeah,
Boldy stinky like Brady Kachuk? Like I don't know. No, it just like it really
God.
feels like again like the watch the game, watch the tape bros could come out and watch Matt Boldy and be like,
Yeah,
holy fuck, and then you 5 goals like is the well gonna break? Are we just gonna get the hat trick night? Like
yeah.
the
The
45 bomb is just sitting there on the table for him and he's just not collecting.
Yeah, the main problem is the coaching staff and Jared Spurgeon on the top power play instead of Zeev Buium. Like it's like we just erased what we saw the first couple weeks of the year, and it's
Mhm.
like actually, guys, we don't want the good players out on the power play. So
Bold.
Buium, have a seat. Um, but yeah, that's gonna hurt the power play's efficiency. Just
Yeah.
just that's what
I
it's gonna be. So I'm
I
pretty
like
out here honestly. But if ownership's super low, obviously the trends are crazy in favor of this game, and I might just go Kaprizov, Rossi, Johansson, Boldy, and just say, yep, those are the four dudes.
Yeah.
Um,
No, honestly,
that
that's not bad way. But I
Kaprizov
was gonna
beats.
say, like, could you just go Kaprizov Boldy? Like, could just click those
Yeah.
two buttons and then you just say that's basically McDry, only slightly worse but way higher rate shooting. Like evens out in the wash against a back-to-back Nashville team that, again, like, it doesn't feel like there's going to be a ton of ownership. Like, I mean, that this might be the actual the donkey chalk sniffer moment of the night, but
Yes,
um,
you sure could do that. So
yeah, it is a 6.5, and they're minus 225 favorites. Okay,
okay, so yeah, DJ sniffed it out. Thank you
found
guys.
it. We got it.
Thank you, DJ, from everyone. Tampa at Colorado. Let's check. Should be a 6.5. Yep, 6.5 minus 145 for Colorado. Tampa. Only question is whether they go 11-7 or 12-6 with Curtis Douglas serving as a goon. I don't think there's anyone on Colorado who he would fight. So I don't know, unless we're guessing this Tristan Nielsen idiot is a fighter. I don't think so. I
Hey,
think he's just
he has a family.
I think he's an AHL lifer kind of guy versus goon. And so I don't see anything that would necessitate them doing that, but I also don't know why they're doing it in the first place. Like they're clearly just wasting a lineup spot. But that gets more minutes for the Hagels and Kucherovs of the
He
world.
was a
So it's fine.
+1 in 3 minutes of ice time, so his pretty good.
+1 fights.
Well, no, in the last game he was
Yeah, no, I
a
know, I know.
+1 in 3 minutes and 1 second.
He didn't even
Let me go
fight
miss.
anyone. What?
He hit somebody. He was on the ice for
Oh,
a goal for.
because Liam O'Brien wasn't in the Utah lineup. He must be hurt. Yeah,
Yeah.
weird. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he is certainly not DFS relevant, and everything I'm saying is just a waste of our time. But the point of this is they're either 11-7 or they're 11-6. So keep that in mind when
Yeah.
you're building your lineups. He is not relevant at all. Hagel got 23 minutes last game and was back on the top power play with, Kucherov, who's very good, and Point.
Yep.
So, like, the band's back together. The matchup is, I mean, bad in the respect that Colorado is very good, but good in the respect that both teams could score a lot of goals. I don't think as much ownership will be on the Tampa side as it could be on the Colorado side, just because Tampa has actually been bad defensively for the majority of the year, and maybe that
So
ship's getting back
are
on
you telling
on
me
course.
Are you
Titanic.
telling me that Tampa one is so bad it's good, or so good it's bad?
I'm saying it's good.
Okay.
I mean, Kucherov is shooting and
Yeah.
never hitting the net.
Hagel,
Hagel is good.
yeah. Hagel taking the top unit spot from Bjorkstrand is meaningful. Bjorkstrand has just been
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
Really bad time to have a contract year in the perfect situation, finally healthy, because he missed last year after the trade deadline for the most part and missed the playoffs with an injury. Just to put up an absolute piss poor output,
Yeah.
2.7 fantasy points per game. That's Curtis Douglas level of
Poop
bad.
and pants situation.
Yeah. So that's that. It is what it is. I think Hagel's very interesting, even as a one-off. With the 11-6 or 11-7, you don't need to play Kucherov with it. Of course, it's better if you do, but if you're spending
Yeah.
up elsewhere and just want a mid-tier guy, he's been very good. And he could get you, a bonus or two, and Kucherov could get you 20 and not really matter. So I don't mind that at all. And Braden Point is very much, I think, just a dude here. I don't think you need to spend up for him, but I've never really thought that. And so this year he's paying that off for us. If you are on my side of the fence, otherwise nothing here that I'm interested in. It's all kind of gross. So
Yeah,
Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado. I mean, Colorado is very good at hockey. They are one of the best teams. The matchup does look enticing, as I mentioned. It might be getting, again, over the trends, a little bit more favorable to Tampa over the shorter term, as they've looked a little bit more of a cohesive unit. But nevertheless, it's a high goal potential game with very high skilled players that will see the likes of Well, not Curtis Douglas probably for more than 2 minutes, but other players that are not very good. I mean, you look at that Tampa lineup, and we only mentioned like 6 players because there's really not that many worth talking about. I mean, the top 6 is fine, but are you at all interested in going the McKinnon, the Nate Chost, the McCarr, the Val, the Ross Colton route? I mean, any of this stuff
Yeah,
get you
Colton,
going?
by the way, not top power
Not
play.
probably.
That's Olafson. Yeah, I'm not that interested. Even Big Val's up at 5,500 now, so
Yeah.
the value we're getting on him a week ago is pretty much gone. Um, yeah, it's just not a great matchup. I don't think McKinnon's probably going to get Brandon Hagel Kucherov for his minutes, which is not great. Obviously, Kucherov isn't a wizard defensively or whatever, but Hagel kind of is. And the 5-on-5 stuff is okay here, but I don't know. I'm not over the moon about spending all this money for McKinnon and friends. It was actually really funny on the Hockey PDO cast from Sunday, I think it was. There's like a overreactions a bit that he and Drance were doing, and I think Drance was like, "Is Nathan McKinnon the best 5-on-5 player and the worst 3-on-3 player in the world?" And it's like, thank you. Someone finally sees it. This dude does not have a fucking brain in his head for like large stretches of hockey. It's just he's a one-track animal. A 9,500 for it. It's a fantasy relevant one, but my god, it's going to be painful to watch, I think. So,
Yeah.
I'm never going to tell you not to play McKinnon. I've even done so myself recently. But yeah, it's not my favorite thing to do. And again, I really respect Tampa's top end. So just a little bit out of the
Yeah.
picture for me.
Yeah, no, I think I think there's spots I like more, such as Minnesota, and it's going to be tough to click on. But I wonder if the chalk is on Minnesota, will I end up looking elsewhere? And this could be a spot to look. But we still have 3 more games. We have the Quenneville Revenge Narrative Round 2? Question mark.
Oh, interesting. Had not put that narrative together. So, yeah.
Time to put on your big boy pants and talk
Florida heads
about
into Anaheim,
better go, DI.
of
Yep,
course.
never heard of him.
Yep, never heard. Verhage, Rodriguez, Reinhart for Florida, Luciano, Liddell, Marchand, Samiskevich, Bennett, Oakvist, and Gregor Schwint, and Greer. Schwint. I don't know why. I guess the V because German, but yeah, probably not German. Just a Canadian boy named Cole Schwint.
Okay, I thought you called him Trevor Schwint at first, and I like looked over. I was like, "Who?" And then either I heard something wrong, which couldn't be the case. I've never done
Gregor.
any
I think you
mistakes.
heard Gregor.
Oh, you said Gregor. Okay, I thought you said
Yeah.
Trevor. I was like, okay, that can't be right. Okay, yeah, no, you're never wrong. And yeah, it's a weird, the very very least, a weird iteration of the Florida Panthers. One that, yeah, there probably isn't a team in daily fantasy over the past couple of weeks where I continuously try to figure out the right answer to the riddle of how to play Florida correctly, and just come out wrong pretty much every time. Sam Reinhart's been very good, and I think that's the one drumbeat that I continue to, hit and say, hey, like if you're playing them, you probably want to go through Sam Reinhart. But am I going all the way with Erod and Verhage? It kind of feels stupid. It kind of feels like you fucked up. Like,
Yeah.
could you just play one off Reinhardt? Could you play Reinhardt, Marchand? Could you play one of these defensemen? I mean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it looks really good on paper because Anaheim has been very up tempo. Anaheim has been getting goaltending, which of course Dostal is awesome, so it's not too unexpected. But defensively, they have slipped in their last stretch. Now, I believe you look at their schedule, and they've like beaten really good teams. So let me just read those off for you real quick. That I think sort of games this a little bit. So they're coming off of, well, let's see, last 3 games they beat Florida, or maybe lost in a shootout. But anyway, close game there. They beat Detroit and they beat the Devils. So,
Yeah.
That's going to hold, I think it's 35 or 40% of the weight based on my rolling 10 metric. So, we're talking a sizable chunk of it in the last couple games. And I think that's where that's coming from. I just don't see it from Florida. I don't think they have the juice. The prices are what they are. 13.9K for Lucerine and Liddell Marchand is what I would do if I had to pick one. Lucic getting secondary power play time matters. He just needs that to be fantasy relevant. But he's super cheap, so it helps make the stack work. Obviously, Lindell we've talked about a lot, and Marchand I think is just playing like their best player, and
Yeah.
he might be. Reinhardt's incredible, but Marchand is doing a little bit more, and I think he's gonna hold the puck more for fantasy, where Reinhardt can be the finisher. Marchand's going to be more of the connector with some
Yeah.
finishing
I was
abilities. So
gonna say that like even though Marchand is like 107, like he kind of reminds me of Ivan Demidov a little bit right now. Like, is that crazy to say? Like this guy kind of feels like if Demidov had the same role, it would be kind of similar to me. Like, I don't
yeah,
know.
he's an orchestrator in the same way. He's basically taking on that role of the right half wall puck distributor, and that's Demidov, that's Kucherov, like even
Yeah.
Kaprizov, like a little bit, though him and Boldy's like it makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's the role he's being asked to play. He's still underpriced for it. I have no problems
Yeah.
with that. Otherwise, it's just all kind of like Bennett's a little better lately, but the output's not there yet. So the price falls and whatever, but I'm just not doing it because I respect this Anaheim team a lot now that they're fully healthy again too. So
Yeah, let's move over as I
let's get over
give
there.
out one very long yawn. I mean, it's Cutter Gautier's team. I'm glad
Oh,
he
it's so
allows
great.
others to play along with him. That's really nice of him, just to be like, you know what, guys, I'll drag you along for the ride. Brave of him.
Imagine not having like 50% Cutter Gautier in best puck. Like it's
insane.
What a fool I am.
Like it really is funny to think that like he probably should have been like, I don't know, 6th or 7th rounder, maybe 5th. Like you could really make an argument
based on his statistics this year. He's probably
gotta
a
be,
second rounder.
Honestly, you might. I may be way underselling just to not sound like the biggest slappy in all of Slappy Town, but
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he leads the league in shot attempts and shots.
He does
by a mile.
Yes, he did on Sunday. I guess I didn't check sent. Shot attempts on the season is Tage Thompson for the Slate, so not Cutter Gauthier. Oh, wait, oh my God, I've omitted Anaheim. That doesn't help matters.
Okay, Cutter in 11 games has 52 shots. The only guys ahead of him are 54 for Tage in 12, 55 for Matthews in 13, and 56 for McKinnon in 13. So yeah, he leads the league in shots per game. Unless
shots per game, yes, still, but yeah, not shot attempts. But you know what? The bet I put was most shot on goal on the season. To pay a few grand. Let's not get carried away and count our eggs before they don't hatch.
Anyway, the part that matters beyond just the counting stats is the role that's materialized for him. He's averaging 18 minutes a night. He's now worked his way onto the top power play based on last game. Who was it to start the year?
Who was to start the year?
Oh, it was Granlund. Of course, Granlund's out. So Granlund being out is the tide that lifts all boats here. Like literally, it's just more minutes for everyone.
It's like, well, we don't have Granlund. Let's who is Cutter Gauthier. Perfect. The perfect 1-for-1 swap.
Like
what the fuck?
Like literally I mean, it took them a while to get here because Kreider was out with hand, foot, and mouth disease. I don't think we knew that on Thursday. Absolutely ridiculous stuff here. We're one step removed from we're one step removed from Oregon Trail dysentery or whatever.
Yeah, I know.
So
you know what really did it though for Cutter Gauthier getting that top power play role? Do you know what actually got him over the edge?
Oh God, what was it?
Oh no. You're thinking serious. I was gonna say my tweets. I think Quinville reads my tweets and goes, huh. Maybe I should have put Cutter Gauthier on the 5-on-3 power play instead of fucking Mikael Granlund. It wasn't the injury; it was actually my Twitter account. And he's just like, "What a genius!" I've never considered putting one of the most prolific shooters in the league on the top power play.
It's incredible. There's really no arguing it.
Yeah. Anybody that's listening to this right now that like doesn't regularly watch the Anaheim Ducks, I think no matter what happens, if you watched one game, you would get it. Like. It's just it jumps off the screen. He's unbelievable. He does everything. Like he might be my favorite player in the world. He really might be. I might just like I might call him. Tell him I love him. I don't know. I only have
Yeah,
25% on Best Buck. What a disappointment I am.
yeah, yeah, we suck. Okay, we've noted that. Kreider, Carlson, Terry, top line, fully power play correlated, and they've been really good too. They're not the shot volume guys that Cutter is, where 5 shots and a point is like an awesome fantasy day. But they've gotten the primary assists, they've gotten enough shot volume and expected goals to all be awesome, and they are 16.8K for 37.4 expected fantasy points over the last 10 and 41.2 per game actuals. Like they are crushing it. Chris Kreider came back from injury. Doesn't seem like, he's like, he wasn't hurt or anything. So there's no reason to expect a downturn in his production. But Troy Terry elevated up the lineup, has been quite good too.
Very
so
good,
I have no
yeah.
problem power play stacking. And then Jackson Lacombe is just a guy, 5,100, too expensive. Don't care. I decided this was maybe a defensive thing, by the way. Truba and Minchikov on the power play last game. So we'll see, though. But in any case, Zellweger is taking a ton of shots, but not doing much of anything else on the team. So 3,600, probably not playing him regardless.
Yeah.
But
We're not at Brant Clark levels of anger. We have to stay reserved with some of these takes,
yeah.
but it would be nice. It's one of those, like, you don't have to do it, but like if you did it, we'd be very happy for you, and everybody would be happy because you were better. But I don't think I can go to war yet.
Yeah, DJ writing the book. I think DJ made an OJ reference last show, so I'm going to get right back to him. DJ writing the book of the Anaheim Ducks and Zellweger, if they did it.
If they did it. But if they did it, that was the joke last time. Thank you for catching it. We
Ducks
are
looked like
talking
ass against Florida last game. Let's check the game logs.
You check the game log. I will say it is a 6.5 with a.
They won 3-2 in a shootout, brother. Come on. They got a shot 33-17. Thus the genesis of the.
Didn't Cutter still get like 6 shots on goal? Like it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, Cutter scored and had 7 shots.
Yeah, it's a stupid sport that oh wait, no, that's exactly what we fucking expected.
Yeah,
thank you.
Incredible. Right.
Yeah, minus 135 on that under 6.5, so more of a 6. Ducks are home dogs at plus 120. I don't think a lot of ownership will get here. It is slappy season. If you are in on Anaheim, quack away.
Be a slappy to a game stack it with us. Just game stack it.
Just game stack. Yeah, bro. You can just play Marchand.
Play Florida.
You can play
Cutter.
It's not that hard.
Just play Cutter. That's all we're asking of you. We're not saying anything too crazy here.
Like Cutter should be 7,500. Okay. Anyways, we go to the final 2 games.
The final 2 games. Radko Gudas, I believe, remains out for Anaheim, but if he does come back, that could help defensively too. So keep an eye on that. Anyway, Vegas hosting the Detroit Red Wings. Detroit, just the best team in the league, apparently.
Yeah. Yes, that is true.
Yeah, so no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Finney, Larkin, Raymond, top line, top power play correlated 18.1K, averaging 31.6 expecteds and 32.7 actuals per game. So not in the upper tier, whatever.
No.
But their matchup is also quite tough. The Brinket, Casper Appleton, comp for Berggren, Soderblom, Rasmussen, Van Riemsdyk. Okay, don't really care much here because I'm going to tell you Vegas gets back Noah Hannafin. So that's, I think, a big deal. And Vegas is already really good. So
we're not in San Jose anymore. We're going to Vegas. We're playing a real hockey team, and that's a tough pill to swallow. I have no interest at all in Detroit. I'm not stacking the top line. No, we can move over to a much more interesting Vegas side if you're ready, unless if there's any last notes that you've just conjured up.
Edmondson Insider is at least kind of fun if you're like a late slate bro or something. I think Edmondson Insider is a fun little mini stack, and yeah, they might play with the top line, they might play with the second line, but Edmondson we like as a player. He's cheap, but yeah, not on the main slate for me. On the Vegas side, we have confirmation in practice that Brett Howden is going to play with Eichel and Barbashev in this one. The revolving door continues of trying to replace Mark Stone. Marner, Hurdle, Dorofeyev, Smith, Carlson, Saad, Holt, Sissons, Kolasar. I have not seen a power play yet. They did not score with this configuration, I believe, but they had William Karlsson last game instead of Shea Theodore on the top unit. Basically, their problem is that they can't figure out how to replace Mark Stone. which, listening to me preseason takes is very funny because I was just flat wrong about it. But it's pretty evident watching it that like they need Mark Stone there. And I think they would be best served by putting Marner in the Eichel spot and Eichel in the Stone spot and letting
Tweet it.
Eichel be the sort of what was that?
You got to tweet it, and then they'll see it, and then they'll change it.
That's true. Yeah, you have the ins with Quenneville. I have the ins with Cassidy for sure. That's why I bet Shea Theodore to win the Norris, and they did not use him on the top power play.
Any minute now.
Yeah. So all that to say, I don't really know what to do here. I really just want to keep playing Jack Eichel. He's unbelievable, but Brett Howden and Barbashev. Actually, Barbashev made one of the most ridiculous passes to Eichel on that Friday game. If you missed it, that's okay. It was Friday at 4:00 on Halloween, so I don't expect many people were watching it. But yeah, Barbashev made an unbelievable pass to Eichel where it was just like, oh my god, just took it to my veins. So I want to play Eichel, but expensive and other options on the slate, so might not work out. Otherwise, Theodore's been good, but with Hanifin back, the defensive role might be limited, and the loss of power play time just makes it a tough click for 5,300. DJ, please talk because I've talked for long enough.
I really want to play Vegas, and I really want to also, just like you, give the right answer to this Vegas riddle of how do you play this the right way? And I think it's just overstack. I mean, is Detroit any good? It is the question I think you have to answer. And I think the answer to that question is they are very fine at best on a long West Coast trip. As you're showing right now, the game doesn't profile incredibly well because they just have been better than you would have thought they'd be. I think defensively, they just are okay. But again, a long end of the West Coast trip in Vegas, I think you just go, you either push your, oh my God, I literally, this is my second team related pun, but you either push the chips in on Vegas or you don't. And I don't think you make a half measure here. You don't say, I guess I'll just one off Eichel. Just fucking play Eichel, Marner, Hurdle, Dorofeyev. Just fucking do it, right? Like they score 6. This is a Detroit team that I don't think is going to keep getting away with it. I don't think they're as good as the record indicates. And at some point, I think the well will break against them. And pretty dramatically. Like the numbers look okay. I don't think they're as good as the rolling 10 game average is indicating. So how do you get ahead of that? And I think it's just the 4-man. It's not even that expensive. Like it's expensive, but like you can absolutely play that.
Yeah, that second line is going to be 17.9K. And just since I've been doing it elsewhere, 32.8 expected fantasy points per game and 31.5 actual. Pretty good. Not great, but solid.
But again, you throw in Eichel with that, and there is, in my opinion, quite a few good cheap options that we've already mentioned that you could get that whole stack in there.
All right.
And
Final game, Winnipeg at LA. Huge note for Winnipeg. Adam Lowry back in the lineup on Tuesday night. So
Captain Adam Lowry.
That's right, DJ. So we now have a lineup of Connor, Scheifele, Velarde, Taze, Nemestikov, Iafallo, Niederreiter, Lowry, Pearson, and Lambert, Ford, Kepke. I think it's Nyquist who got hurt last game and is out, but Adam Lowry here is just huge. I mean, and I think Morgan Barron might be hurt. I think he's the other guy. It's just so night and day what Adam Lowry offers defensively. I wouldn't say he's quite Jordan Staal level, but I think he's close to that. And it makes Winnipeg a lot less attackable than I think the numbers so far this year will show. Not having Dylan Sandberg certainly still hurts this middle 6, with Morrissey, DeMello playing with Connor, Scheifele, Velarde a lot. But Lowry certainly helps a decent bit. So that's what I have to say here. Not super interested in spending up on Winnipeg top line. They smashed, I think, last time out against Chicago. So chase that if you will. 21.6K for pretty just decent expected and actuals, 32.5 actual or expected and 38.6 actual. So one of the better lines, but also one of the most expensive lines. Any specific thoughts. Revenge, Gabe Velarde. There we go. Nailed it. Has he
Revenge.
had revenge yet? Because I know he was hurt last year for a stretch. Is it possible he
He
didn't get
has
revenge?
to have. He has to have played them. He's been there for like a couple of years now. Right. Okay. That doesn't really
True.
matter. Let's talk about a couple of things. We're gonna talk about Winnipeg. A little bit better, right? They get their captain back. He's an NHL player that should be, you know, valued and put into the lineup. Are we confirming he's not power play at all? Like, you mean like it's just sticking Iafallo? It makes sense, but no,
Yeah, I
neither
don't.
unit.
We didn't see it. If
Yeah, okay.
anything, he might replace Nyquist on the power play too.
Yeah,
I
plays
have
bad
that
too.
going to
Yeah,
Pearson at the moment, but I mean, Tays and Nemestikov can both take a face off, so it's not
yeah.
like they
It
need Lowry there for that.
it feels too expensive to me to play
Okay,
that first line. And it not
DJ
Lowry's salary. What?
Gabriel Velarde has played 6 games against the LA Kings. How many points do you think he has?
Oh, man. It's either he's so overdue or he's already cooked them. I'm gonna say I feel like I remember him scoring twice against them once, so I'm gonna say he has 4 goals and 5 assists.
In 6 games, he has 2 goals and 6 assists against
Okay,
LA. So 8 points in 6 games. The best point per game mark of him against any team in the NHL.
interesting.
Just saying.
Okay.
Just saying. Interesting. Interesting stuff indeed. Okay.
Yeah, I guess again, I think it's too expensive. I actually don't love the matchup. Because Matt, have you looked at Brent
Oh,
Clark's game logs since my tweets?
DJ. We have a lot to talk about on the LA side of things. The LA
Okay,
Kings.
yep, just
The LA Kings, believe it or not, despite playing Brant Clark all the minutes in the last few games, still suck out loud. And it seems like the fix to this is to repair Brian Dumoulin and Cody Ceci. Now, I don't think there's a way we can capitalize on this because, quite frankly, I'm not playing Adam Lowry. And like the Kings, I don't think they're stupid enough to let out Dumoulin Ceci against the Kyle Connor line. I maybe
famous
I'm
last word.
wrong. Yeah, literally famous last words. Um, but so that does indicate though that they're looking to basically give that pair like 12 minutes. Now, do I trust Jim Hiller as far as I can throw him? Because in 2 games he's played Clark 20 and 21 minutes, despite being clearly their best player. No, I do not, because they lost both those games, and therefore it's Brant Clark's fault. So I think there's a world where he plays 15 minutes again, and we're all mad, and we all went, "Oh, well, you played him 20 minutes." Well, guess what? They were losing. Like that's the long and short of it, I think. Like I don't
Yeah,
think there's any credit we can give here. And LA said, well, our lines suck at 5-on-5, so let's change up the forward group too. So Joel Armia, Kopitar Kempe, Kuzmenko, Byfield Fiala, Moore Deneau Laferriere, Malat Turcotte Perry, and yes, Corey Perry, top power play in place of Kuzmenko. So it is an absolute shit show in LA. I want no part of it.
that is the correct answer. Yeah, I mean Brant Clark has played what was I say? The past 2 games, 9 shots on goal, 4 or 5 blocks. I double bonus, I believe. What maybe I'm one of the like all of that upside exists. Is this a scenario where you say, you know what, late slate, I'm playing Winnipeg one, I'm running it back with Brant Clark because that's just how he wins. Like, I mean, it's not even like you could just go to his game logs and look at all the ones they lost, and he gets way more minutes because they play him when they're losing and they don't play him when they're winning, even though he's way better than the defenseman they play when they're winning.
No, if you want to make money playing LA Kings, just play Corey Perry.
Wow, we are really in the saddest of states.
Yeah, it is. It is about that time. So
He's been good. Like, you can't sit here and say he's not been good when he's a point per game player at like no money and shooting.
I mean, he has a job on this team and he knows how to do that job. And guess what? Fiala, Kempe, Kopitar, Byfield, they can let him do that job. So I don't hate it. I don't
That's why
certainly
when
do
I
not
need
hate
a
it.
job done, I get call someone with a job to do that job.
That's right.
What a used.
Kitties has the Winnipeg one slander stack with Perry bring back. That's how you win.
I mean, is that
Late
power play too
hammer.
correlated with. Oh no, he's power play 1. What am I saying? Corey Perry's the
Yeah,
first power play. Duh.
yeah.
Anyways,
Brant Clark would never be top power play. Just could never happen.
we have no fun ever in this world.
All right,
But
it is time.
it-
Top stacks, guaranteed goals.
yeah, let's take a peek at the last time we did this. We had Miko and Bertuzzi. I have no recollection of either scored, and Cooley and Timo. I have no
I
recollection if they
believe
scored.
I believe that Miko game was the boringest game. Yep, 2-1 Tampa Dallas, and it was Adam Ernie who scored for Dallas,
Timo didn't
and
score. Cooley, did Cooley
Bertuzzi.
score? What did I feel like Cooley scored recently? Was it when I said he'd score?
Will Cooley or Logan?
Will.
Interesting. I'm just checking last Chicago game because I think Bertuzzi scored over the weekend, but not when I had him for guaranteed goals. So sad.
Yeah, Cooley scored on my birthday, but not when I had him for guaranteed goals. That's sad.
Wow, that's crazy.
So we did that.
We did bad.
Timo didn't
Who was
score.
your fourth on? Oh, wait,
Timo.
what were our top
Timo.
stacks? Okay.
You had New Jersey 1, Dallas, or New Jersey 2, Dallas 1. I had
Oh,
Minnesota 1 plus Matt Boldy, and then Carolina 1 plus Nikishin. And they went
Yeah.
for like, I don't know, 12 goals, and Carolina won at 0.
That's right. We
Yeah.
fell over ourselves being so sure that like our top stacks are also where the guaranteed goals are coming from, and New Jersey just gets boat raced by San Jose.
It wasn't our best performance. I feel like both of my
What a
stacks
world.
like seemingly could have done well but didn't. Okay, let's do better. Let's just be better. Let's be great. Let's be the best there ever was. I am gonna let you go first if you're not ready. I could pick one.
Wow. You are so brave, so bold.
Am I?
All right. I am going to go Artemi Panarin, guaranteed goal, 7,500.
Okay. I guess we're not doing stacks. That's fine.
Oh, sorry. You're right. All right, screw it. New Rangers won. Panarin, Miller's the
There
bad
you go.
ad.
Not too hard.
Yeah.
I'm very much on the same wavelength. I'm gonna go Vegas 2. Obviously you can include Eichel with that, but I think I'm actually going to be brave for the first time in my whole life.
First time. Interesting.
Might be the last.
Definitely the last, I would say. Sorry, I literally did not. I heard you say it. What was your stack?
Vegas 2. Vegas 2.
Vegas. Great. Brave.
I mean, I'm throwing in Eichel with it, but
yep,
it's your world.
Got it. Stacking of stackers. I am going to go. Oh boy. I'm just gonna go Paterka, Cooley, Gunther. It would be so Sabres to have some hope, and then Paterka just snuffs it out. 4,200 for Paterka. Like I said earlier, I do want to stack it if I play it. Just given the price, even though Cooley's a bit overpriced, and Gunther obviously is Dylan Gunther. I want to play all three together, I think. So let's do that stack. Paterka, Cooley, Gunther.
Okay. I mean, it's not quite the cheapest in the world, but it's not that expensive to just go Svechnikov, Nikishin, and Sebastian Aho.
Okay.
So I'm going to take Carolina 1, but I'm not playing Taylor Hall, and I'd rather play one of the defensemen. And if you really want to play Walker for whatever reason, probably a much worse play, but I can't call you an idiot. Like, he is shooting a lot and he blocks pucks and he plays a million minutes. I just prefer Nikishin. I think the upside is just really, really, really good.
Okay, valid.
I already forgot your second stack. I was listening and I just didn't write it down.
Utah 2.
Yep. Oh, I know I forgot because it was fucking against my freaking Sabres. Okay.
Yes, DJ cannot stack against the Sabres because he knows how good they are.
This is a lie. This is a slander.
God.
Okay, we have to guarantee goals. I have one that I think I'm gonna do, but I want to see what it gets me first. So I can let you go first while I do some price analysis.
All right. I want to go Matt Boldy, 7,600.
Okay, I couldn't afford him anyways, so I can't actually be mad. But I was trying to see how I could get Matt Boldy with somebody else, and I was like, oh, I think I got the guy. So I guess I might as well just thank you for picking someone I do like. I will go with Trevor Zegras, and then I will have 6.9 nice amount of dollars left. So
Okay. Much respect to that. For my second, I have two options here, and there's a lot of pressure on me now because apparently someone's checking out the shorthanded box or what the fuck, the single entry 121, where I have Dvorsky on my team, and he scored a power play goal on the power play one. So I
yes,
have
he
a lot of
did.
pressure on me now to give you the Dvorsky play of the slate, and I have 3,400, and there are two options on the New York Islanders. I'm going to go with Emil Heineman, 3,400, because I think it's a bit fancy play to do Richie as a one-off for the same, setup. But I really like both those guys. Heineman, though, playing alongside Horvat and Barzell. He's 3,400. The guy shoots. The guy has been shooting. He's profiling as the shooter, and he's with their two best players. So I'm not overthinking it. I'm going with Heineman, but I reserve the right to flag plant Cal Ritchie in future weeks if he, actually is the sort of NHL player I think he will be right away.
I have two options. I could argue three, but you took New York Rangers one, so I won't. I mean,
Thank
it's
you.
Cutter Gauthier at 63, or you spend up and you go Forsberg. And I think you know where this is going. Cutter Gauthier it is.
Okay. I like it. DJ, anything else we got to cover before we get out of here?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we'll be back for another Thursday slate preview. Nothing else really on my end. Anything you want to mention before we get out of here?
No, Ryan Flournoy just caught a touchdown. So my showdown is actually looking quite lit.
The slate is saved.
Indeed.
I need one Mr. What the fuck's his stupid name? Stuggerud to shoot the puck at the goalie, and he's not.
He will not do so. So
why did I believe in him? I looked at the recent stats and I said he's changed. He's a shooter again.
I played him on my Dvorsky team because they were on the wings of the power play one. So I need him to do well as well. But anyway, let's get out of here. We've gone long enough, and no one cares about how I do. And I also don't care how anyone else does. So I don't want to invite that sort of feedback. I just want to win for myself. And yeah, that's about it. So
okay, great. That's very, very rude of you, but
well, I feel like I put enough out into the world where I deserve to be selfish sometimes.
Why don't we go over our fantasy hockey season-long teams that I didn't adjust today after winning my first game of the season?
Perfect. With that in mind, though, the newsletter took a hiatus last week. Like I said, Montreal was priority, and the weird Friday slate starting at 4 certainly wasn't going to help readership. But that should be back again this week. So make sure you subscribe, moods.beav.com. On Friday, there's a nice little 4-game slate that I'll be writing up. It includes the Toilet Bowl of Chicago at Calgary, so I cannot wait to dive into it. And yeah, make sure you follow me at Fake Moods on X, DJ's at DJ_Mitchell94. Check DJ out on YouTube. I have a YouTube account as well. It's linked in the description. Haven't used it in season. Might not end up using it in season. We'll see. And yeah, that's about it. Make sure you get in the Discord, DM one of us if you need a link to it. That we had someone get in this morning, DJ. I don't know if you let someone in. That was just a spam bot.
I did not.
Yeah,
I didn't let anyone in. That's why I don't know. I mean, I guess can other people? I think like a few, but yeah, I put it in timeout, and I was gonna text you about it, and then I went back in and it was gone. So I guess
I banned it, but yeah. So that was interesting thing to wake up to.
What did they
post?
Why it was just nothing when I looked.
It was oh god, what was it? I saw it first thing in the morning. It was first thing when I logged on the Discord in the morning, which was later than they posted, and it was like, yeah, I don't know. It wasn't anything like pornographic, but it was like telegrams or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. My God, let's get out of here.
Okay, bye everyone.
Yeah, thank you all for listening. From Doug, from DJ, from myself, have a good Tuesday slate, everybody, and we will see ya.
You're saying they're looking like an idiot.
Well, is that any different than normal?
This is the first time I will admit was unbelievably wrong.